So now we have to do the today's problem, right? There's 1140 stone game second, right? So question पढ़ते हैं. Alice and Bob continue their games with piles of stone, right? There are number of piles arranged in a row. मतलब number of piles arranged in a row wise, right? Each pile has a positive integer piles array I. Okay. The objective of the game is to end the most stones, right? Alice and Bob take turns with Alice starting first. मतलब Alice ने पहले start करा. Only each player turns that player can take all the story in the first act and remaining piles where I less than x equals to 2m. Then we get m is equals to mx. Initially m is equals to 1 and the game continues until all the stones have been taken. Assuming Alice and Bob play optimally return the maximum number, and this is the example 27944 output 10 हो गया और explanation there is value is 2 plus 4 equals to 10, right? Now I got this question, right? So now what we do, we like using memoization techniques, right? Like top down DP solution, right? So let the first, like, stones are taken starting from from the left, right? And since the remaining stones always form a continuous suffix, we can use I to represent the starting index of the remaining stones, right? And besides I, the number of piles the current player can take is constrained by M, and then the current state can be represented by the pair IM, right? Because like both Alice and Bob play optimally, the same state definition can be used for either player, right? So since the total number of stone is fixed, maximizing the current player's stones is equivalent to the minimizing the stones the opponent can obtain, right? So like like define DFS. I am as a maximum number of stones the current player can obtain, right? When the game is at index I with the current limit M, right? So if the current player take X files where I less than X less than equal to X and X less than equals to 2M, right? So the opponent start from I plus x with the m m dot लगाते हैं m dot equals to max mx, right? And the opponent can then obtain dfs I plus x, right? And comma max mx लिख देंगे stones में, right? So therefore the current player score for the move is piles array I minus dfx bracket में I plus x max m and x, right? So to maximize the current player, so piles ai minus, right, yoga. So to maximize the current player's scores, we choose the move that minimize the opponent maximum score, right? So DFS का तो हो गया, right? So to calculate the number of remaining stone in big one, we first convert piles into suffix sums, right? Like after processing, piles array I equals to sigma n minus 1 to k is equals to 1 piles के हो जाएगा, right? So thus piles array I directly gives the total number of remaining stones, right? If like I plus 2m greater than n equals to n, and the current player can take all remaining stones, so DFS IM equals to piles array I, right? Initially all stones remain and m is equal to 1, so we call them DFS01, right? The same state IM can be reached through different sequences. O of moves, right, to avoid recomputing the same state, right? So we cache each result of DFS I and M, right? Hmm. So now, like, we have to do code, right? Now we have to do code, right? So and I plus M into 2 equals to, and then we have to return files array I करते हैं, right? And int key equals to I, the 8 go M कर देंगे, right? And then we got if memo dot contains key, the bracket key, then we have to return memo dot key. Then we have to int res equals to integer dot max value, right? When we iterate a loop for int k equals to 1, k m into 2, k increment, right? And res like math dot min कर देंगे, res ले लेंगे dfs I plus k and math dot max m and k ले लेंगे and files और memo ले लेंगे, right? So now we have to integer files, that's right, memo put key val, and then we have to return val, right? But here we go to write a private, so we have to delete this. And private int dfs, int I, int m, int array files, and then we have map integer and integer memo कर देंगे, right? Now we have to write here we go public int stone game second, and then we int array files, right? And then integer and leaving files dot length, and when we have iterate integer I equals to n minus 2, I greater than equals to 0, I decrement, then files array I equals to files I plus 1, right? Then we created a map integer, right? So then we got memo is equals to new hash map, right? And then we have return कर देंगे, return dfs the, the files, right? Then we have to submit this code, right? Oh no, error, files, right? Wrong answer. To mkn, right? To run this code. Now it is accepted, right? So, so that's it, right, guys?